America.
Here in America, race doesn't count.
No. You can't be hearing that.
Well,
Look, race, yes. But ultimately, race here is a political question. Right? Racists just try to use race here as a tool in a political struggle. It's not really about race. There are no angels in America, no spiritual past, no racial past. There's only the political, the shifting downwards and outwards of political power to the people.
Power to the people, amen. Oh my goodness, would you look at the time?
You think this is what, racist or naive or something?
Well, it's certainly something.
What? I mean, I don't want to speak from some position of privilege.
I'm sitting here thinking eventually he's got to run out of steam. So I let you go on, saying maybe about 7 or 8 things that I find really offensive. But I know you, Lewis, and I know the guilt fueling this peculiar tirade is obviously already swollen bigger than your hemorrhoids.
I don't have hemorrhoids.
I hear different. May I finish?
Yes, but I don't have hemorrhoids.
So finally, when...
Pryor told you.
You promised, Lewis. Pryor's had a subject.
Well, you brought him up.
I brought up hemorrhoids.
So it's indirect, passive-aggressive.
Unlike, I suppose, banging me over the head with your theory that America doesn't have a race problem.
Be fair. I never said that.
Not exactly, but it was... But
you deliberately misinterpreted.
Stop interrupting.
No, just let me...
What, talk? You've been running your mouth non-stop since I got here. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Up the hill and down the hill, playing with your monolith.
Well, you could have joined it at any time.
Girlfriend, it truly is an awesome spectacle, but I got better things to do with my time than to sit here listening to this racist bullshit simply because I feel sorry.
I am not a racist.
Oh, come on.
So maybe I am a racist.
I really hate that. It's no fun picking on you, Lewis. You're so guilty. It's like throwing darts at a glob of Jell-O. There are no satisfying hits, just quivering. The darts just blop in and vanish.
You know what I think?
What?
You hate me because I'm a Jew.
I'm leaving.
It's true.
You have no basis. Lewis, it's good to know you haven't changed. You're still an honorary citizen of the Twilight Zone. And after your pale white polemics on behalf of racial insensitivity, you have a flaming fuck without a nerve calling me an anti-Semite. Now, I really have to go.
You called me Lou the Jew.
That was a joke.
I didn't think it was funny. It was
3 years ago, Lewis. You hate me because you hate black people.
I do not. But I do think most black people are anti-Semitic.
Black people? That's
Louis Farrakhan.
Ed Koch.
Jesse Jackson.
Jackson. Oh, really? This is pathetic. You voted for Jesse Jackson. You sent checks to the Rainbow Coalition.
Well, I'm ambivalent. The check's bounced.
All your checks bounce, Lewis. You're ambivalent about everything.
Well, there are some Democrats that have been trying to be the healthy balance. And they're not exactly they're not exactly feeling comfortable within the Democratic Party right now. So Richie Torres, a whole bunch of people hate him. He's got a ton of courage, but he's not exactly popular in the National Democratic Party right now. Josh Fetterman. I don't like a lot of his politics, but he seems to have taken his health issues as an excuse to be a lot more forthright about a bunch of stuff that most Democrats can't talk about. Mm-hmm. Here in DC, there is a local guy on the school board who basically is kind of the mouth. Yeah, he's speaking in his personal capacity, but he's basically calling out a lot of the BS from the progressive faction in DC politics. There are people trying to run places in a stable, productive way with democratic values, with left-wing values, but without going crazy.
Yeah.
But there's a whole bunch of activists, many of them paid with government money. So a lot of government agencies funnel money to non-governmental organizations, favored by various politicians. The workers for those NGOs end up lobbying politicians, going to protests, signing petitions, sometimes even harassing rival politicians. So that happens a lot in local politics in Democratic-run cities. So there's a lot of pressure on the saner Democratic politicians right now. Some of them still stand strong. Some of them knuckle under and then basically complain when the pressure is off. And in some places it's been successful enough the pushback has been successful enough that some of the crazier politicians got ousted in the San Francisco elections. But there's a quiet war among Democrats that's largely being forgotten about. They're not all crazy. It's just that the crazy people are driving the train right now.
Yeah. And, maybe this is a good time to mention this because I needed to do it in some capacity. Because I was talking to you about the last friend that I had in Antifa who I stopped being friends with after they sent me a dead Mitch McConnell meme and all that not too long ago. I actually got back in touch with them probably a couple weeks ago, and she's going through a lot, had a lot going on in her life, and, I had a lot going on too, and was feeling a lot of ways about how shit went down. And even though we had our disagreements, I was just like, I'd like to end things on a healthier note. And I think I kind of let the crazies dictate my perception of her because we didn't have a healthy conversation in regards to where we were both stood politically at the time. We were both just kind of operating on assumptions because living on the opposite side of the country, there was far less communication. And, kind of coming to realize after talking to her again that she was actually very level-headed. She's like, I've actually been watching your podcast and, don't agree on everything. But she's like, I do realize that, essentially a lot of this queer Marxist stuff is getting a little out of hand. She's like, I want to work with kids and people with gender dysphoria, but I'm starting to realize now that, maybe you were right on some things. And, I kind of told her, like, I wasn't doing a good job of checking in as a friend. And, when I would talk to her, it was always about something political or something crazy going on, and it was never personal. And I kind of realized I didn't even realize what was going on in her life at the time. And I'm watching all these other crazy activists. And as I'm unintentionally pushing away my friend, I'm just kind of in my head, creating this character around her of, oh, she's one of the fucking crazies. So I guess I should take this opportunity and saying all that to issue an apology on that and to say, I'm sorry, buddy. And I was an asshole. And I'm very grateful for you forgiving me. But yeah. And I've seen a lot of really good other good Democrats too recently. Then my neighbor who I helped move across the country, she's a self-defined never Trumper. One of the greatest women I've ever met. I think we've all taken a psychological toll from what's happened in the last few years, and we've become jaded to a large degree that if we could just drop it a little bit and get our heads out of our asses just a little bit, then we'll start to see it more.
If this isn't nice, I don't know what is. Music, please. Please, 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 please.
Akira. Nice.
Now, every lecture I've ever given has included my tribute to my Uncle Alex, my brother's kid brother, who was a graduate of Harvard and a wise man, a distant insurance salesman in Indianapolis. He was childless. But what Uncle Alex found objectionable about so many human beings is that they so seldom noticed it when they were happy. And so we would be sitting under an apple tree, for instance, on a July afternoon drinking lemonade and, talking about this and that, that's practically buzzy like honeybees. And Uncle Alex would stop everything and say, wait a minute, stop. If this isn't nice, I don't know what is. If this isn't nice, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. I don't know what is. If this isn't nice, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. I don't know what is. And so he would do that again and again, and it was very good advice, and I've taken it up. And I hope that you will take up this habit too of noticing when things are really awfully nice and say, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. And say, if this isn't nice,